Everybody go, ladies and gentlemen. Saul Niguez to Chelsea. Here we go. An elite option. Fourth choice midfielder. Who knows? Third choice midfielder. No. Fourth choice midfielder. Plays anywhere in the midfield. Box to box. Can pass well. Is an elite option. Scored a wonderful goal once. Saul Niguez, 26 years old. A renowned high profile player coming to Chelsea. Here we go. Confirmed by Fabrizio Romano himself. Here we go. Sell to Chelsea. Here we go. Agreement reached for €5 million loan from Atletico Madrid. Personal terms agreed. Sal will be in London soon to sign the contract. Hashtag CFC. Hashtag deadline day. Final details and the deal will be announced. Difficult deal, but finally set to be completed. Amped. Very, very excited indeed. An elite option. Saúl Niguez to Chelsea. This is Mateo Kovacic 2.0. Hopefully it goes well. And then we sign him if we want. If not, we've got other options. Lots of other stuff to talk about as well. Of course, this is the blockbuster sensational move. A really successful transfer window for Chelsea Football Club in getting two positions sorted. We always had a problem in the midfield in terms of a senior options with Kante, Kovacic and Jorginho. We needed that elite fourth option and we've got that now in Saúl Niguez. Gilmore's obviously unknown. We can talk about Chalobah, Reece James, Christensen playing in the midfield. We can talk about Ruben Loftus-Cheek and Ampadu being options. Ampadu looks like he's being offered around for loans at the moment, and Ruben Loftus-Cheek, we don't even know if Thomas Tuchel prefers him as a number 10, as one of the inside forwards, or indeed as one of the double sixes. But this is incredible news for Chelsea Football Club. I'm amped, man, and this is ultimately a really successful transfer window for me, because we didn't need to just randomly get players for the sake of it. We needed an elite striker, someone who can change the profile of how we attack while scoring a few goals, and we absolutely achieved all of that in the signing of Romelu Lukaku, and now we have that midfield covered as well. We've got good options at wing-back. Callum Hudson-Odoi is not going to Dortmund, so right wing-back you can play Azpilicueta, Reece James, Callum Hudson-Odoi. At left wing-back you can play Marcus Alonso, Ben Chilwell, or even was it Pulisic or Hudson-Odoi who played left wing-back in that pre-season game? Plenty of options at wing-back. We've got enough defenders. Even if the Jules Koundé deal has collapsed, we've got enough defenders to play in the back three with, Thiago Silva, Andreas Christensen, Antonio Rudiger, Cesar Azpilicueta, Trevor Chalobah, and Reece James. If I said Reece James, I'm not sure I have. So there's plenty of options. It really was. The main problem was in the midfield, and Saúl Niguez. We've solved that with Saúl Niguez as well. So there's something else I did want to talk about as well. If I can, my computer starts loading. There's a deal for Tino Anjorin to go to Lokomotiv Moscow. Football Yannick, that's wrong. Tino Anjorin undergoing medical as we speak. This was obviously at about 5 p.m. Best part of 2 hours ago this was. Tino Anjorin undergoing medical as we speak ahead of a proposed transfer from Chelsea to Lokomotiv Moscow. 19-year-old midfielder going on loan with an option to buy in January for £17 million. If the purchase happens, Chelsea will have a buyback clause for €40 million. So £17 million sale, which is, he's such a talented player. This is likely to happen. And then £35 million buyback. Now, I want to talk about that a little bit. Having a buyback clause for £35 million on a player that's playing in the Russian Premier League sounds like a lot of money. That's not the Russian Premier League has been a little bit better, and there's certain other leagues that are weakening in the current climate. But £35 million for a Russian Premier League player, ultimately, that's what it'll be. It seems like a lot of money. What this deal stinks of, I think the head of football or development or something like that, not the manager, but maybe the footballing director, is Ralf Rangnick, a friend and acquaintance of Thomas Tuchel, and I feel like Thomas Tuchel is using his position at Chelsea to do his mate a favour and give him a player that he highly rates. Let's have it right. Thomas Tuchel highly rates Tino Anjorin. And I don't think this is a cynical move in like, oh, you can have one of my good players, mate. Let's not think about him. I think he's probably had a discussion with Ralf Rangnick and thinks, you know what, if we can't loan him, we have to put an option to buy. Let's put a buyback clause in and see if we can get this guy back. Maybe it's like a glorified loan in many ways, but it sounds expensive way of doing things. Do you know what I mean? Tino Anjorin's obviously happy with it. It's a really interesting move. Like, he must be getting like decent senior wages, the teenager, because it, you know, so highly rated. Played in the first team, made his debut the season before last, I believe. Was it at Grimsby Town in the Cup? I think I was at Stamford Bridge when he was just 17 years old. So, you know, you don't feel like, I'm at Stamford Bridge making my debut for Chelsea Football Club. You know, you don't think, maybe in 2 years I can get a move to Lokomotiv Moscow. You know, no disrespect to that team or the Russian Premier League, but it just doesn't seem like something you'd aspire to. Do you know what I mean? So it's a little bit weird, that one. But ultimately, you know, for me, I'm going to take the positives. It's more money generated, best part of another £20 million in a transfer window where already we've generated so much revenue, which is superb. And if I'm sure there's method behind the madness, behind the scenes in this transfer for young Tino Anjorin, which means, you know, he might develop well. There might be a long-term plan for him to come back. He might be getting paid very well. You know, he must have been sold a really strong proposal in terms of how they're going to play football over at Lokomotiv Moscow, and how he's going to be a sort of really important figure. He's going to have to learn Russian, I guess, which just it's quite an exciting, different thing to happen. And yeah, it's an interesting move. But what another positive I want to take is Thomas Tuchel is clearly thinking of the long term here, maybe, if there is an option to potentially bring him back in the future and, you know, creating relationships with clubs and all this kind of stuff. Maybe there is a sort of long-term plan. I've heard people like Matt Law talk about this, other people, Chelsea journalists, saying that there is a sort of perhaps long-term planning with this. And I'm going to take that as a positive. Maybe the whole situation with Callum Hudson-Odoi, his transfer to Dortmund being blocked. Of course, they were happy to sign him on loan, not buy him off Chelsea, loan him and give him first-team football, playing for Borussia Dortmund in the Bundesliga, a high level. He could have been linking up with Erling Braut Haaland, feeding him assists, scoring goals. A really, really nice situation for Callum Hudson-Odoi. I guess Thomas Tuchel already had it in his head, knowledge of Tino Anjorin, who is like, you know, a first-team attacker, front-free player. He knew he was going, and he's like, I want you to remain. Not only are you a backup as a wing back for me, you can also play in the front three. So Callum Hudson-Odoi staying. As things stand, Jules Koundé deal dead in the water. Tino Anjorin off to Lokomotiv Moscow, Ampadu being offered for loans. I think Ruben Loftus-Cheek is looking to stay at the moment, which is a positive for me because I think Thomas Tuchel does rate him highly. And again, like I said, the aforementioned positional situation with Ruben. Where is he going to play, as a double six or indeed the front three in terms of like maybe one of those number 10s? And Saúl Niguez, man, this is huge news, man. Here we go, an elite midfielder. It is genuinely exciting. I know people are talking about it being like, oh, you know, this is going to be just a backup, he won't get time, but it's an exciting move, man. He's a great player. He's been like top tier. He scored, you know, he's been played in high profile games. There's a reason they gave him a 9-year contract. He's been playing wing back for Atletico Madrid, which is a bit peculiar, but it shows you that he can play wing back. Maybe, who knows, maybe he will be considered to be cover there for Thomas Tuchel, but all things considered, it looks like he's going to be a midfield option, and a most welcome one, especially considering, you know, Kante getting injured again. Thomas Tuchel has said himself previously that when it comes to making substitutions in-game, whether it's ritual or tactics, he often likes to change a midfielder. And, you know, when you've only got 3 senior midfielders, it means that all 3 of them are always going to play. So there needs to be a little bit of rotation there to offer competition as well, amongst other things. I think this could be a really good move. Obviously, it's no risk. If he just comes in, stinks the place up, just give him back to Atletico at the end of the season, and we now have a closer look at Billy Gilmore or Conor Gallagher, who I don't think he's more of an attacker than a double six, but I think he did play in that midfield role in pre-season for Tuchel. So many options over Chelsea next summer, but for the meantime, we've got, as things stand, what it looks like in Saúl Niguez, we've got a quality option to call upon and play there. I'm very excited, man. I want to see him play. I can't wait. He might, this is a new opportunity for him as well. Like, things went a bit stale at Atletico. Played out of position, new players coming in, playing in the midfield instead of him. This is an opportunity for him to revitalise himself as a high-profile player, which he is. Very, very exciting. Let me know what you guys think. I'm buzzing on this. Transfer deadline day drama complete. We knew we'd get it. We absolutely knew we'd get it. It doesn't always happen, but I had a feeling actually it was going to happen today. Chelsea have done it before, and they've done it again. Let me know your thoughts. Drop them down in the comments. What do you think of Saúl Niguez to Chelsea? I really appreciate everyone who drops a subscribe and a like. Help me out on the algorithm, my friends. Let's see if we can get a bunch of likes on this video. And yeah, very exciting. Here we ruddy go, ladies and gentlemen.